I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City Council meeting. Let the record show that all members of the City Council are present this evening. Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the meeting room and is accessible to members of the public at any time during the course of this meeting. A couple of proclamations that we will present this evening. First one is a proclamation regarding Building Safety Month during the month of May 2021. The proclamation reads as follows: whereas the City of Beatrice is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and economic value of homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens both in everyday life and in times of disaster. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of these buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, and federal officials that are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, play. And whereas our nation benefits economically and technologically from using the international codes that are developed by a national voluntary consensus code and standards development organization, our government is able to avoid the high cost of complexity of developing and maintaining these codes, which are the most widely adopted safety codes and measures and fire prevention codes in the world. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials who assure us of safe, sustainable, energy efficient, and livable buildings that are essential to America's prosperity. And whereas prevent, prepare, protect, building code save is the theme for Building Safety Month 2021. It encourages all Americans to raise awareness about the importance of safe and resilient construction, fire prevention, disaster mitigation, energy conservation, water safety, training, and next generation and new technologies in the construction industry. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to us all by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2021 as Building Safety Month. Witness my hand on official seal of the City of Beatrice, the 3rd day of May 2021. And with us is Rob Merrow, the Community Development Department Director. And Rob, I'll make the presentation to you.
I just want to say I'm pretty proud of the work we've done over the last 6.5 years since I've been in here to make sure we're building to the minimum standard and enforcing the building codes that you guys have adopted. I think it's very important for the long-term path for the City of Beatrice to have these quality structures being built the way they are. So I look forward to continuing down that road and doing what we do.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Next is a proclamation regarding Drinking Water Week, which is May 2nd through the 8th, 2021. Proclamation reads as follows: whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life that we all enjoy. And whereas any measure of a successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, and public safety are in some way related to the access to safe water. And whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend. And whereas each citizen of the city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know your water. Now therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do proclaim May 2nd through the 8th, 2021, as Drinking Water Week. Witness my hand on official seal of the City of Beatrice this 3rd day of May 2021, and the presentation will go to Steve Kelly, our Water Superintendent.
Well, I'm here again, another year's Water Week. I think this is about the 15th year we've declared Drinking Water Week here in Beatrice. I guess our goal is when you open that faucet, you get your glass of water, that you don't think twice. that water you're going to get is going to meet all the standards. And I can tell you for a fact that presently and for the last 20 plus years, that's been true. So that is basically our goal for that to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. All right, the next is the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. First item is item A, approve agenda as submitted. Item B, receive and place on file all notices pertaining to this meeting. Item C, receive and place on file all materials having any bearing on this meeting. D, approval of minutes of regular meeting on April 19th, 2021, as on file in the city clerk's office. E, approval of treasurer's report of claims. E1, approval of gauge area growth N-gauge claim in the amount of $39,838.42. E2, approval of balance of treasurer's report of claims in the amount of $219,144.09. F, approval of Boswell report of claims in the amount of $7,118.24. G, approval of write-off of ambulance bad debts. H, refer claim of Ralph Taverty regarding damages to his personal property located at 1710 South 14th Circle Drive, Beatrice, Nebraska, to the city attorney and city insurance carrier for review and disposition. I, refer claim of Byron Reason regarding damages to his personal property located at 1714 South 14th Circle Drive, Beatrice, Nebraska, to the city attorney and city insurance carrier for review and disposition. J, approval of manager application for Angela L. Coffey, license number D-110053, in connection with GNS Corporation, doing business as Get and Split, located at 301 South 6th Street, Suites 1, 2, and 3, Beatrice, Nebraska. Item K, resolution number 6717, granting the Little Angels Committee and their designees permission to sell or offer for sale or peddle goods, wares, or merchandise in Chautauqua Park on August 14th, 2021 for a fundraiser event. Item L, resolution number 6718, entering into a second amendment to tower and ground space lease between the city and USCOC Nebraska Kansas LLC regarding the installation of telecommunications equipment on the water tower located at 1203 North 19th Street, Beatrice, Nebraska, as recommended by the Board of Public Works. M, Resolution 6719, executing the agreement for professional services between the city and Annie Bauer, archaeological consultant for archaeological survey services, as recommended by the Board of Public Works. N, resolution number 6720, executing the engagement letter for commercial appraisal services between the city and Kubert Appraisal Group To provide appraisal services for acquiring real property the city must obtain for the Scott Street re-asphalting project as recommended by the Board of Public Works. Is there any item that any member of the council wants removed from the consent agenda? Ted?
J is in John.
Item J. Anybody else? Mr. Claybaugh?
I will abstain on E1.
All right, so noted. Anyone else? Anyone from the public? All right, Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that the items listed under the consent agenda with exception of item J be approved, accepted, and are ratified as presented.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that all items listed under the consent agenda with the exception of item J be approved, accepted, and/or ratified. Your vote, please. And that is approved 8-0. Further action on item J, Mr. Claybaugh?
I move approval of item J, approval of manager application of Angela L. Coffey, license number D110053, in connection with GNS Corporation doing business as Get and Split, 301 South 6th Street, Suites 1, 2, and 3, Beatrice, Nebraska, be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Fairbanks, that we further review item J on the city council agenda. Mr. Fairbanks?
I just pulled it off so I could vote against it. They changed the law several years ago that allows them to have one liquor license, they have a off-site manager that has a liquor license for all their locations. I vote against it when it's the other convenience stores. I think if you're gonna have a liquor license here in Beatrice or Gage County, you ought to live in Beatrice and Gage County, and I take them off and vote them against it, and so I'm just being consistent, so.
Okay. Any other comments, questions from the audience? All right, gentlemen, and your vote, please. That is approved 7-0 with Councilman Fairbanks voting no. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing to consider the rezoning application of Chad Boer for Gage County parcel ID numbers 0050610000 and 0050620000, Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska, to be rezoned from agricultural district to rural residential.
So we have a couple of items dealing with this rezoning. Last meeting, we approved the plat. This is a three-lot plat that is located on South Sumner Street, south of Belvedere, approximately a half mile. They're located out in the county, so again, he had about 10 acres there. He's subdividing off into 3 individual lots, and hence the rezoning from agricultural to rural residential.
Questions? Anyone from the audience? All right. Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that the public hearing be closed at 7:13 p.m.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Bilsbach, that the public hearing be closed at 7:13 p.m. Your vote, please. That is approved 8-0. Next is resolution number 6721, entering into an interlocal agreement between the city and the village of Pickerel, Nebraska, whereby the city shall provide garbage collection services for the village.
I move that resolution number 6721 be passed and adopted.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Fralin, that resolution number 6721 be passed and adopted. Tobias?
Again, this is another community that sanitary garbage served. They've signed a contract with City of Beatrice now for 5 years, essentially all the same terms that you've agreed to with every other community.
Questions from the audience? And your vote, please. That is approved 8-0. Resolution 6721 has been passed and adopted. Next is an ordinance approving the plat of Whitetail Ridge subdivision, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-17, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Kerr, that the ordinance be given number 21-17, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. That is approved 8-0. Resolution 2117 by number the first time, ordinance number 2117 by number the second time, and ordinance number 2117 by number the third and the final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-17 be passed and approved.
Second.
By Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance number 21-17 be passed and approved. Any further discussion?
This is the parcels we just talked about on the rezoning, again, located on South Sumner Street, just south of Belvedere, approximately half mile, 3 lots.
Planning and zoning?
Planning and zoning approved everything, yes.
Okay, questions? Audience, vote please. And that is approved 8-0. Ordinance number 21-17 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance amending the zoning map for the city of Beatrice by changing the zoning of the property legally described as Lot 1, Lot 2, and Lot 3, Whitetail Ridge subdivision, Gage County, Nebraska, from AG agricultural to RR rural residential.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-18, the title thereof be approved, rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second. Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Fralin, that the ordinance be given number 21-18, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 8-0. Ordinance number 21-18 by number the first time, ordinance number 21-18 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-18 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-18 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by McLean, that ordinance number 21-18 be passed and approved. Further discussion, gentlemen? In the audience? And your vote, please. And that is approved 8-0. Ordinance number 21-18 has been passed and adopted. Next is the public forum. Purpose of the public forum is for the presentation of an item by the general public to the city council for consideration at a later date. No discussion or action will be taken by the council at this time. Is there anyone here for the public forum? All right. Yes, sir. Come on up. Just give me your name and address for the record.
I'm Larry Wolkin at 1301 Elk, and I'd just like to think that we need to enforce. There's a lot of properties getting pretty junky in this town, and I just feel that I'm talked to a lot of other people, and they feel that way too. And I was talking to a guy that moved into town several years ago, and he was kind of surprised how many properties that. I don't mind a little bit of junk, but there's a lot of them that are pretty bad, and they're able people to be able to clean up their properties. And I just feel we need to enforce it, residential and commercial. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Larry, appreciate it. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Come on up. Name and address, sir?
Mark Adams, 1800 Scott Street, apartment 63. I was a little irritated today. It might seem like something minor, and I don't know if this is the place to bring it forward, but I noticed when I went to take recyclables to the
Recycling center?
Yes, sanitary place that the city bought. There was no recycling. The gate was shut off. There was no sign redirecting me to the recycling areas that are in a couple places throughout the city. And I just felt there should have been a sign redirecting where to go, because it got frustrating driving around town trying to figure out what to do with my recyclables. In the end, I just put them in the dumpster in the apartments where I live. So anyway, that's all I have to bring forward.
Can I comment on that at all?
No, we cannot.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Anyone else? All right. Next regular city council meeting is going to be on May 17th at 7 o'clock in these chambers, and there may or may not be a work session on May 24th. And with that, Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that the meeting be adjourned at 7:19 p.m.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that the meeting be adjourned at 7:19 p.m. Your vote, please, and that is approved 8-0. Thank you, everyone.